Put the kids to bed, put on your shades, and crack open a cold one during Sports Report After Dark with Seven and Dan the Dick Werner. You can catch After Dark Thursday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern on youtube.com/the Sports Report podcast, and again Saturday nights at 11 p.m. Eastern on West Coast Radio. We believe that athletes are people too, and Skip Bayless is one of the lizard people. Don't miss Sports Report After Dark. Put the kids to bed, put on your shades, and crack open a cold one. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to this week's edition of the Sports Report After Dark. I am your host, Seven. Dan is waiting in the backyard, in the background, ready to be a dick. And my best friend continued. Before we get started, I do want to give a special thank you to our sponsor, Gunslinger Soap. Gunslinger Soap is handmade soaps and beard products made without all of the junk to pamper your skin. You can go to their website right now, gunslingersoap.com, and sign up to get 15% off of your first order and always free shipping. Over $30. That's gunslinger.com. Definitely check it out. And to welcome in the biggest dick in sports, Dan the Dick Werner. I will also give a special heads up to those of you that are new to the Sports Report After Dark. We get real. We say a lot of bad words. This is not something for the kids to listen to. put them to bed first, crack open a cold one, put on your shades, and join us as we talk about sports, mental health, and I methodically prove that Skip Bayless is one of the lizard people. How you doing tonight, Dick?
Good, sir. Good. I am actually in the backyard for one. Everything behind me is a temporary wall. It's all wilderness in front of me. It's all wilderness in front of me. And parents, you don't have to wear your shades if you don't want. We just do it more for aesthetic effect.
Well, because our future's so bright. It's the experience.
Yes, it's all a spectacle. I like that. I like that intro music though, where it says streaming starting soon. We actually changed up the music a little bit, didn't we? I think we went with Walking the Ducks or whatever it's called.
Yeah, it was a good choice, man. I liked the choice on that. I was listening to it. I was like, you know what? It kind of fits. It kind of fits.
It's the one that Stax and I play in the background the whole time.
Oh,
we play it really low. So it's got to because I figured if nobody wants to listen to our voices, which most people don't, then they have a little music to listen to in the back. You know what I'm saying? We keep it about half volume. So
and Snowman in the morning with Cole Johnson commented, "Why was Brittney Griner released? She committed a crime." We are going to talk about Brittney Griner tonight because I think that there are some important facts that we need to consider with this. I think it was a disaster with how this whole situation was handled.
Real disaster. But it's a hell of a crime.
Yeah, it's for me.
Oh.
So we'll go ahead and we'll start with that tonight. You know, for me, Brittney Griner, she gets arrested back in February because of a weed pen similar to the one that I have in my hand right now. And marijuana is illegal in Russia. She was coming home because of the escalating conflict between Russia and Ukraine. All of the American players and players from other countries that were in Russia playing basketball in their women's league were advised to get the hell out of the country. And she was coming home. And when she was at the airport, there was a weed pen found in her bag that she was trying to carry on. And she was arrested. As Cole mentioned, there was, weed is a crime. It is illegal in Russia. So regardless of the changes that are being made as far as cannabis is seen as a whole, not just in the United States, but across the world, she did commit a crime.
I don't feel like that's the way that he's saying it, though.
Well,
you're being very open-minded about it.
Well, no, but that's the truth of it. I mean, we have to look at this objectively. Now, do I believe it should be a crime? Of course not. I don't believe, in my opinion, she did not commit a crime.
She committed a crime of being stupid. Don't bring it on the fucking plane, you idiot. Well, what are you doing? You're 6'8". Are they not going to check your bag? Come on.
How do you, and that's the thing, even as a stoner, and I have, for those of you that don't know, I have my medical marijuana card. I have complex PTSD, along with generalized anxiety disorder, and then along the ADHD and bipolar 1. Cannabis is something that I use to where I don't take as many medications. I do still take some, but I take a lot less and function a lot better because of the fact that I have cannabis as part of my regimen. But I also added that to my regimen with the understanding that there are different places that to take my cannabis with me, I would be violating the law. And if there was any time that I did choose to do so, I did that knowing the stakes. And any of us that are, we'll say, habitual users, when we go to travel, we understand the rules. It's not hard. It's known. And Brittney Griner knew that cannabis was illegal in Russia. And she had a pen in her bag. And here's the truth. It's not like she wouldn't have been able to afford to replace it when she got back to the U.S. Yes, women's basketball players are not paid nearly as well as men's basketball players are, but they do okay.
She could have been playing it too. She could have been playing it too like she was, like it was just a vape pen, like a tobacco vape pen. You know what I'm saying? Like she could have. And they, did they test it? Because I bet it. I mean, obviously the cartridges have the THC. Yeah, they had the THC, the diamond on them. It says THC with a little exclamation point. but you can take those off. I mean, you can have obviously a pin that looks like a cigarette. Yeah, like exactly like yours.
There are. So, and this is one that I got directly from a dispensary, and I did not doctor this at all. There is nothing on this that marks that it has THC in it.
Yeah,
and
so that's what it was, right? I mean,
and that's what one would think. But how is there not? When we look at that part of the situation first, how they allowed that to happen, how she allowed that to happen, is beyond me. That is such a dumb mistake to make. Now, I don't agree with everything that she has been put through for the pen, but she did commit a crime. Now we look at the prisoner swap that was made today. Brittney Griner was released and sent back to the U.S. for a gentleman by the name of Victor. It looks like it's about Abit. I don't know how to say the dude's last name. Who is also called the Merchant of Death because he is an arms dealer. Now, as much as we understand that Brittney Griner, to the normal mind, did something that shouldn't be illegal, I'll say it like that, shouldn't be illegal. She committed a crime, and she is a basketball star. Yes, she is gay in a country where it is illegal, and that is an issue as well. But again, why are we trading an arms dealer for an athlete when there is a Marine that has been in Russian custody for 4 years, and they didn't make any headway with that? And I get that there was attempts. I'm aware that there were attempts on that.
Yeah,
but why are we trading an arms dealer for an athlete?
Well, I'll give you a couple of reasons, Tony. Number one is Brittney Griner's not important enough to be traded for a Marine. Honestly, you got to do some serious stuff to get a Marine out of like POWs, dude. Yeah, they're gonna want more than Brittney Griner. You know what I'm saying? Like for real. Like, so that's the weird. I think it's a conspiracy kind of, because I think that the Russian government probably, like, dude, how perfect of a choice is Brittney Griner, a 6'8" woman who happens to be a lesbian,
black,
dude, and black, like just a perfect target for Russia, for real. And like that, it's. I mean, I'm being conspiracy theorist. I know. Like, let's do the conspiracy.
No, let's dive in, man.
But for real, this sounds like it might just be kind of like it was a planned out thing, and it's just a favor. Like it literally was just a favor that Putin, you know what I'm saying? Like a favor that Putin had in his pocket to like easily take a 6'8" woman from the United States. It's the perfect fucking target, dude, for real. It is. And the thing that makes me think it the most for real is the fucking pin, dude, because they wouldn't have known it was a fucking weed pin unless they literally they would have had to like go at it pretty hard. I bet they were literally like, hey, when she goes back, like we heard she smokes weed, right? Fucking search her bag. If she's dumb enough to have something in there, arrest her for it. And like, they probably just got lucky. They probably just got lucky, and they were like, I think this is fucking weed. And like, they're like, oh yeah, dude, it is fucking, you know what I'm saying? Like,
and you could be right. There could have been a target on her back because it was, the right kind of situation to get the attention of the American public. And so on the front side with Brittney Griner's return, you see people celebrating that we got Brittney Griner back. And on that, I'm glad that she's safe. Legitimately, all things aside, I'm glad that she's safe. And I will not take that away from her or her family. I wouldn't want to take that away from her or family. But when we think about this from an actual political and overall actual impact, keeping an arms dealer away from a country that will let him do whatever the hell he wants and get back to business is probably more important than getting Brittney Griner home this quickly. I'm sorry, but it's not.
It is absolutely. And I think, well, I think a lot of it, I don't think that this arms dealer is like, I see where you're coming from, where you're like, yeah, dude, if this guy's just dealing guns and he's probably going to help over there. You know what I'm saying? Like he's legitimately going to be like dealing guns, like dispersing weapons that kill people essentially. Right. I don't know, but like, come on, man, Putin can get the actual larger part of Russia, like the part that people are actually scared of, can get a hold of some fucking guns if they want some guns. You know, so like he's not that important, bro. Like he's probably a low level guy. If he's a high level guy, then like maybe it makes it a little bit easier for Vladimir Putin to get weapons. But like, dude, he can fucking. You think Vladimir Putin can't find a gun? Probably carries, probably has a couple, like, you know, lots of them.
You know, no shirt, riding around on his horse.
Just straight, dude. Just that's fucking America.
Got a Glock 40.
He takes pictures like he's in America.
And he does, doesn't he?
Isn't that fucking weird? Like he's the guy trying to like fucking, you know, like why is he fighting us? That dude would love this country. Putin would love this country. He would just live in Texas probably. Just fucking down there riding horses, shooting AKs, bro. You know he would. So like, I don't know. Like it's just, I think it was a favor that he had. He was like, yeah, try and snag one of those fucking WNBA players when they're trying to leave. Like as like almost like he fucks with people like that. Like, and then he has a favor that the US has to give him in exchange for somebody she's not famous enough for them to take any military action, right? Not famous enough for that. She's 6'8", easy to fucking find, right? Like she's an easy target. That one right there. She's black. She's a lesbian. She had weed on her. She's everything freedom about the United States. Professional athlete, black, gay. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's awesome.
Yeah.
But she represents all of them in one person. And like, how perfect of a fucking target is that for Putin, for real? Like, I bet he was he was ecstatic. He was like, yeah, we're going to get one of our guys back for that.
I don't doubt you. Honestly, I legitimately don't doubt you that
I think it's possible.
I think there may have been a target on all of those girls' backs. I mean, like I said, they were leaving because back in February, you remember the Ukraine situation was just kicking off, and the State Department for the countries that most of these girls, US and otherwise, were playing from, were like, yo, get the hell out.
Yeah.
And they were like, all right, let's go. And you know, let's remember, Brittney Griner was overplaying in Russia because she makes more. She was making more playing in Russia than she makes playing in the US WNBA.
Interesting little tidbit there.
That's so fucking mind blowing.
Yeah, like
and especially after that clip that we talked about on Sports Report with what Kelsey Plum said. They're not looking to get, you know, she understands that she doesn't deserve to get paid as much as LeBron, but they want the same revenue share percentages, which is completely fucking reasonable.
Dude, I read into that. I read into that a little bit more because we were talking about that last week. Mm-hmm. They don't make enough to unionize. They don't make enough money as a fucking they don't make enough money. They hemorrhage enough money that like they don't make enough to actually have a union, which is fucking crazy. Like basically they could, but like it wouldn't be all of them. You know what I'm saying? Like they somehow that they would stay not unionized because they don't make enough money basically. And like that's fucking crazy. Sorry. On a side note. Yeah.
No. That's interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
No, but it's like ultimately Brittney Griner shouldn't have had to have been over there. And what she did, I don't believe it was a crime. But yes, by the letter of the way that the law is written in Russia, which if you're in another country's borders, you have to respect their laws.
Yeah.
That's the way it is.
Especially in that country.
Especially in a country like that. Yeah. Go to China and fuck around. Guess what? You're going to get the same kind of treatment.
Pretty much.
Including with cannabis, too, because weed is super illegal over there.
Super illegal, yeah. A lot of Asia, it's weird. Like
there are people that get death sentences for it.
Yeah, they're weird about weed.
Death sentence in China for weed. Like, it's ridiculous.
Because it makes you think for yourself.
I mean,
yeah.
But the truth of the truth of the situation is the leadership of the United States government failed here because they traded a weapons dealer with the nickname Merchant of Death for an athlete.
Yeah.
Did Bill O'Brien facilitate this fucking trade?
Right? It was O'Brien. O'Brien's working the government. That's why he left the Houston Texans. But yeah,
I guarantee you, as this news was breaking, Bill O'Brien shot out of bed this morning and went, shit, They're gonna come for me again.
Good. He stands in front of his like 17-inch TV screens on his wall that all watch news channels, and he's just like, good. And he's got a suit on. It's like 7:00 in the morning. He's just good. He's just fucking like he's just working, bro. He's got like charts and shit all over the walls. He's like, yes. Next we'll take China. Yeah. He's working for like fucking Coke Industries, doing something weird, like he's some consultant or some shit. They just fucking keep him on the payroll. He just makes up plans and just fucks people over, and just in the middle of it, he just starts NFL, or starts coaching NFL teams.
It's
crazy.
And again, for those of you that have come in late, there is you're not going to find individuals on this show that don't believe that Brittney Griner deserved to be free. But at the same time, yes, the cost has to be attained. It's that movie with Timothy Olyphant.
I love Timothy Olyphant.
What is that chick's name? She's married to a hockey player now. She was the female love interest in The Ranch.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, the show on Netflix.
And I can't remember what her name is, but the movie was called The Girl Next Door.
Oh, and yeah, dude. Yes.
That movie, first of all, that movie's fucking hilarious. We're a fucking tripod. We're a fucking tripod. No. Yes. But there's a line that Timothy Olyphant, who plays the villain in this movie, he's looking at the great job, by the way. Yeah. And looks at the kid and goes, gotta make sure the juice is worth the squeeze. And that's the truth.
Yeah.
Like it as unfortunate as it is to have to be so objective in relation to human life. And there are people that look at this and like, oh, it's a life for a life. No, it's not. I'm sorry, but it's not. No, I mean, because for somebody to be, go ahead. Sorry.
No, you're good, man. Yeah. Like if it's a thing where we literally thought that the dude, like this, I think this is the biggest point. Like if we thought that the dude was actually legitimate still, and he was actually over there fucking running guns to people and was actually a fucking problem, I don't think we trade him for, you know what I'm saying? Like I almost think that like he might be like some, really powerful person's fucking nephew or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a favor. Like it's a favor that United States has to do Putin. And like, like he was going to take a lot of stuff for it probably, but like he gets a pretty big piece, but it's probably like, an advisor's fucking nephew or an advisor's son or something, like somebody with money and power. And he's just doing a favor. He's like, hey, this random guy, and they're like, why does he want that guy back? I think we're making it a big deal to call this guy legitimate still, because I think that what people are actually scared of Russia is Putin and nuclear war. That's it. Like, we don't care. Do you guys not know that Russia has a ton of fucking weapons? They have a lot of guns, bro. They have a lot of guns, and they have a lot of people to run those guns, and they're motivated. Like, whether or not that fucking, regime is correct or not is really not the issue. They're fucking motivated, and they really don't like us. And their leader is a, he's a stud who rides horses and shoots AKs. But yeah, he's like, I think it was just, I don't know. I think we're overestimating how, like, the Merchant of Death, yeah, that fucking comes out. The U.S. government is also playing this like they want to too, because like we're never going to hear another thing about the fucking Merchant of Death again. Like, we're probably not going to hear another thing about him, right? But for a couple of weeks, it'll be a little bit of buzz about Brittney Griner coming back, and like, awesome, right? Sweet, we got a fucking American back from a fucking basically being imprisoned wrongfully in another country, essentially. Great, but I think that we probably knew that it was probably a pretty even trade. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think those guys are stupid. They're not just going to be like, yeah, let's get this guy back to like, no. Like, we got some pretty smart dudes up there running the place. You know what I'm saying? Like, they really are.
I hope you're right. And legitimately, because, I mean, when you think about a weapons dealer in Russia, obviously that's black market stuff. So whether that's weapons that are leaving, he was facilitating weapons leaving Russia, going into other places. Was that illegal guns coming to the U.S.? It's not like we don't have enough of a problem with that already.
There's a lot of guns in the United States too.
Yeah, and exactly. And that's the thing is, like, And I guess that's the true measure of whether or not this is worth it. Is what kind of a risk does him no longer being imprisoned by the U.S. pose to the public in the future? Like, what are the actual ripple effects of that happening?
Right.
You know, and I think that's, I guess it'll be left to be seen, you know, as to if that's going to happen. If in a month we see, 10,000 AK-47s wind up in U.S. in Merchant of Death's first deal after getting out of prison.
Right. I see what you're saying. Like,
you know what I mean?
Right. I just don't. I don't think that either leadership is that stupid. Does that make sense? Like, I don't think that they're like gonna be like, oh, well, this is definitely gonna cause a rift between us. Like, because I think there's only probably like one thing that we can say that our president and our leadership has in common with us and with Putin, right? And that's that probably nobody actually wants to like fire a fucking, like, I don't think they do. I don't think anybody wants to fire a nuclear weapon and end everything.
Nobody wants to be in that situation because the problems that you deal with after, it's just absolutely, yeah. I can agree with that.
Like, and I think that our leaders, I think that they like themselves a lot and they don't want to die in a fucking nuclear, you know what I'm saying? Like, they like themselves a lot. And so, like, they don't want to die. Like, Putin doesn't want to die. He's going to fucking stay alive. Because why wouldn't you? He rides horses and shoots AKs. Like, what, you know? Like, how do you not want to stay alive? But yeah.
And drinks vodka.
That's the only thing. Well, and me and him have that in common as well. But like, that's the only two things we have in common is that we drink vodka and we don't want to fucking launch a nuclear weapon at the other, anybody.
I think that we need to get an after dark calendar going for 2023. And one of the pictures needs to be you on the back of a horse with no shirt and an AK and a PBR.
Yes. I'm thinking, I'm going shotgun. And yes, and PBR bottle maybe, just to be classy about it. You know, like a 70s, like a 70s.
There is nothing classy followed after PBR. I'm just going to throw that out there.
Can I just wear like Italian guy gold jewelry, like just like a lot of it, like and have a pretty sizable chest pubes, like have pretty sizable like a good fur going on.
Shave the dog, glue it onto a piece of saran wrap, and then just wrap it around your chest. I don't
know. I've never let it go that long, but I might be able to just grow one. I might be able to just get like a fucking good, you know, a good chest hair.
You manscape up here?
Absolutely. I do it for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, but yes, absolutely. I should just start getting them, just growing them out. Honestly, I just want him to tuft a little bit over the top of the shirt.
Just get that little tuft right over the top.
Just a little bit.
I don't, and I still don't really get very much of anything. So like, I would have to get a chest hair toupee. But if you could pull it off naturally, even better.
Yeah. Well, yes. Well, obviously, I think it should be all real. I think it's better for the people, you know.
I mean,
I think we'll sell more if it's.
Agreed. You know, and we have a dedication to our craft, so you know we should want to make sure we do it right in the best way possible. You know, no costume work. Nobody needs that.
And just right in the middle of the calendar, I start doing LeBron James from The Body issue 2009. Just the exact poses, and then like next to his picture, like just that's middle of the calendar somewhere. It's just like you have his half on there, and then have my half on there. Was same picture. It's the most ridiculous ones, dude.
Oh man,
or even better, Venus Williams. Even better. Or you could go Ronda Rousey. Did you ever see that episode or that issue? Did you ever see that?
Whew. Yeah,
I have that issue.
Interesting.
Yeah. I posted it like right when I got it on Facebook, and I was.
You know what? I think I remember that.
I was like, leg lock around my head, please. Like,
I mean,
she's on the cover, dude. It's fucking crazy. She looks scary. She looks good, naked, scary though. Like, she scares. Like, I'd be like, I don't know if I want to get into this. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, look, you only live once.
Oh, I'm not gonna.
And if you get the shot, you got to take it, Ben Simmons.
Oh,
you got to, if you get the chance to step up to the line, Ben Simmons, you got to take your shot.
I'm taking a fucking Dame Lillard 2020 playoffs 40-foot fucking just ice in my veins fucking shot, dude. If I ever even see her in real life. I don't care who I don't care if I'm fucking married.
Did you see that video of Steph Curry making 5 full court shots in a row?
Not real. But yes, I did.
Wait, no, it wasn't?
He makes 2 of them. He made 2. Yeah, he did an interview. They asked him, and he totally just admitted that it wasn't real. He was like, it's amazing that we could make it look that real, though. He goes, well, I mean, dude, there was one about LeBron like 15 years ago where he's hitting like, he goes to like half court and then he goes like 3/4 and shoots a turnaround, and it looks like he's just drilling these shots. Like he's shooting normal, like he's shooting like really hard. And it was fake. That one's clearly fake. The Steph Curry one's better. Steph Curry one's better, way better done.
It looked pretty good.
But he's like talking about, he's like, yeah, it was all, he's like, I didn't make all of those. He goes, I did make 2 though, if that matters. So he actually makes 2 of them, which is ridiculous.
But still 2 out of 5?
Yeah, dude, he's fucking crazy. Like that's the crazy thing is people believed it because he was Steph Curry.
But look, I mean, with how good he is, how can you not at least go like, yeah, I can see that, especially with how good he is ranged. Like, he's not just shooting threes just on the other side of the arch. He's fucking 40 feet.
Oh, yeah. Just and just not basically like for a littler guy, you would think he would have to like get a bunch into it, right? But like his form is so good that he just lets it go like right here, dude. It's like a quick like it's just nothing.
I mean, and even with his longer shots, his motion is still so much smaller than you see from some other guys.
And quick. Real
like fucking quick. Could you imagine Bol trying to make do a full court shot? It would look like a fucking trebuchet, just
right. Yeah, just there's like a second hinge to it. Like it's like the first shot, and then there's like a second part. But yeah, dude. Like fucking, I did see the video of like the fucking Warriors camp where he first does the fucking the turnaround thing where he fucking shoots it and he turns, like in the middle of the fucking Warriors camp, and it's in like Japan or something. It's all Asian people in the crowd. And yeah, like, and they're fucking just going nuts. But like, he does the actual for the first time. I think it was like 2015 or so. I can't remember when it was. It said like one of the first times he's ever done it or whatever. Fantastic video because the Asian people are loving it, having fucking it's awesome. But like, and the bench is doing the thing where the dudes do the fucking, holding.
Oh yeah.
Back. It's always the black guys holding each other back. Yeah. Yeah. Fucking hilarious. I do that all the time, dude. I do that to Alicia all the time.
Right.
Like I'm like when I'm showing have some fucking you gotta like practically hold them back. It's fantastic. But yeah, that's what they're doing.
That's great.
Yeah, but sorry, go ahead. Yeah, Steph Curry, fucking crazy shooter.
Shooter.
So is Seth.
Okay, all right. So tell you what, before we
hit the face with a pack of cigarettes, you see that?
I saw that. Yeah. All right. So before we dive into Dan Snyder, we're gonna go ahead and do a commercial break now.
Yeah.
So for those of you that are watching live, we will be right back. Thank you, and we appreciate you. Hold on.
Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never ran, said no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. You got a mind, but even that could change. You could flip the gray matter like some batter in your brain. That's why I say, fake it till you make it A. And if you play that game, then you just might make a change. Rearrange all the bad to okay. Take the worst thoughts saying, turn them to a game. Take the best thoughts saying, put them on display. On repeat in your brain till you're feeling no more pain. Never slow yourself down, you can do some more. Push past all the pain and you find a door. Open it up and finally explore everything that you thought you could never. Even when you feel low, you can still go.
Wrap up your Monday with some laughs. Make sure to join Will, Seven, Dan the Dick Warner, and Josie as they dive into the hottest topics of the week across sports, including baseball, basketball, and the NFL. You can catch the episode live Monday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern on youtube.com/The Sports Report Podcast, or Wednesdays at 11 a.m. Eastern on West Coast Radio. Don't miss the Sports Report Podcast. Don't miss Fight Night. Every Tuesday night, Will Morgan and Josie Haney break down the hottest topics of the week across combat sports, including UFC, boxing, WWE, AEW, and more. Past episodes are available on youtube.com/The Sports Report Podcast, and each episode will air again Thursday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern on West Coast Radio. Don't miss Fight Night. Tune in or tap out. Welcome back to the Sports Report After Dark. Seven and the Dick here. The report on the congressional investigation on Dan Snyder dropped today. Dan, did you get a chance to look at it at all?
I honestly didn't want to feel dirty today, so I didn't read it.
I understand. I respect that. I needed to take a shower before the show, so I did go ahead and read the report earlier.
That bad, huh?
It's a lot of things were what I think is funny about it, and we'll get to it, is the statement from Dan Snyder's camp after the report was released largely said that there was no new information that was included in the report. And that's not exactly accurate, but it's almost a damning statement in and of itself because it confirms things that had been discussed for a while, including that the cheerleaders were basically pimped out. Bruce Allen was, as we all understood, a very integral piece of part of that, a very, very integral piece of all of the things that was going on. Yeah, the owner, Bruce Allen. And then, but it was also Dan Snyder knew what was going on and was complacent and participated in all of that. So his conscience is not clear. We also saw during his questioning, like 80 times, it's well over 100 times. He either answered questions with, not without really answering them.
Right.
Or, I do not recall. I don't remember.
I don't know. Is Bruce Allen, is he a part owner or what? I don't know who that is.
I think Bruce Allen was one of the majority shareholders and then
partner?
He was forced to sell out. I think Snyder bought his share or something like that.
So, yeah. I mean, dude, and that's only what got out that they wanted to get out, though. You know what I'm saying?
One of the pieces that was interesting was the NFL knew what was going on. That was in the report. The initial investigation that was done into the organization that the NFL commissioned, they worked very, very diligently to not let that information ever get to light, and there is a pretty good chance that none of it ever will. Right. But the NFL knew what was going on and decided to protect Dan Snyder rather than deal with the situation.
Dude, I mean, the same reason why a bunch of those stories didn't get out, like you were just talking about, because Dan Snyder has a lot of fucking money, dude. He has a lot of money,
There was witness intimidation from Dan Snyder.
He was just handing out $1,000 bills. $1,000 bills. Just here's a stack. Shut the fuck up.
I mean, and basically these things were all confirmed in this report that that was released, and one of the things that I think that is, and Goodell was actually questioned during the investigation, and answered over 100 questions to the congressional committee. But
how lawyer was that? How lawyerly was that? Lawyery, like his answers, were they bad? I
haven't read that part of the. I didn't read that part of the transcript. I was mainly reading what was the information that was in the report. I haven't had a chance to fully sit down and read it yet, primarily because I still want to have happiness and joy in my world.
Right.
But I mean,
like a politician.
Yeah, it that's from what I'm understanding. Everything that I've read about it is that's exactly what it is.
Probably says I don't recall like 17 times. I don't recall.
More than that.
You don't remember? I don't recall. Yeah, it says 148 times. I don't recall.
And that's what's crazy about it is I would think from a business standpoint for the NFL, you're going to get more accomplished by allowing Dan Snyder and the Commanders organization to fail and somebody else come in and buy it than you're going to gain in protecting one of the 32 owners, or in putting all your chips in protecting one owner instead of the 31.
Can we go into conspiracy mode real quick? We should run like a graphic, like conspiracy mode. Yeah, anyway, I think, like we've been saying for like fucking 2 years now, whatever, long time, that Dan Snyder has something on the NFL. He has a lot of stuff on the NFL. He has a lot of stuff on Roger Goodell.
There's reports that he said that he has stuff.
Probably brags about it to all hookers. Probably brags about it to every hooker. So yeah, they're gonna talk. I know a squealer when I see one, and no, but yeah, like conspiracy mode is, yeah, he does have shit. It's not even conspiracy at this point. He has stuff on the NFL, which is fucking hilarious if you think about it. Because
one of the other things that was in the congressional report, the leaks regarding John Gruden that led to his retirement or resignation, came from the Commanders organization.
Yes, of course it did. I think we already knew that one too. I mean,
Dan Snyder hit job.
It's so fucking good. Like, it's so bad for conspiracy mode. We're gonna start running conspiracy mode more if conspiracies get proven correct. I'm just saying, like, it's so bad for the conspiracy world, like, because we're just right, basically. Like,
but I wonder what. I mean, so my question would be, if a congressional investigation shows that these emails were leaked by the Commanders organization, does he have recourse? Does Gruden have recourse where he can like sue them or something, or
like probably it would be like what defamation or something like that? It's like defamation or was defamation, but there's like
emails.
Right. So like all it was just like, yeah, like you kind of fucking, he probably wants to just forget, honestly. Like,
I'm sure he does.
Right.
Yeah, he wants it to be past him, but like at the same time, think about how much money that cost him. Think about how much money that cost the Raiders organization.
Oh God.
For that situation, because right now the Raiders can't replace, they can't even fire McDaniels because of the fact that they're still paying off Gruden.
Right. They need this to work because they already signed the checks and the checks went through. Yeah. And you got to use.
They don't have a choice, and right. So that's where my question comes in on that one, man. Because like, if I'm John Gruden, and I'm getting a bunch of emails released to make me look like I'm racist. And then I find out that it was a coordinated hit, which I think we were calling that this was a coordinated hit on Gruden when he still had a job as the Raiders head coach. Like, it was clear even then that somebody had put a target on John Gruden's back. Like, that was just clear. But I mean, if I'm Gruden now, I'm looking for recourse. Like, there's got to. I'm trying to find something. Because that guy who looks like a 70s mafioso that's lucky enough to not have lost his hair. Yeah. Cost me my career.
Dog, by the way, John Gruden. Dude, for real though. Yes. Like, that's a really good point though. That he, like, I didn't know what was going on like that far back, but like, I get it now. because he has had a lot of like unfortunate mishaps media wise, hasn't he? There's been like a couple, and it's like, that seems like it's well placed information. Like, doesn't that make you want to just see what happened between fucking Dan Snyder and the Redskins at the time and fucking John Gruden? Like, what unfolded to make Dan Snyder just be fucking pissed? Like, it's movie like. They should probably make. I mean, no matter what happens,
it's got it. The only thing that makes sense is greed. That's the only thing that makes sense to me is greed in all of it, because, I mean, and if you look at the Commanders, everybody, then the Redskins, everybody acts like they're a small market team. Okay. DC is not a small market.
No.
DC is not a small market. The money is available in that organization. If you like the Padres, they just spent a bunch of money during the winter meetings beefing up their roster to the point where they may trade Tatis and it's not a big loss for them.
Right. Yeah.
But the Padres are a small market team. No, the Padres had the 5th best attendance in Major League Baseball across the season.
Yeah. I heard a guy say on the winter meetings that they're a small big market. He said they're a small big market or whatever. He was like, it's basically like a small big market.
They are the 8th largest city in the country. It's not a small market.
Yeah, and I think he meant more like people don't want to go to the Padres. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not like it's sought out destination. Like, yeah, the city's awesome, but like the franchise and like it is a lot about franchises. You know what I'm saying? Like in Major League Baseball.
They have the 5th best attendance in baseball last season. They're expected to be even higher this season.
Prestigious name, though.
Right.
Is what I'm saying. Like, they're not very prestigious. It's like the Kia. Like Kia trying to come back. The Padres. Like, they're just Kia, man. And they have a good, they make good cars now, but they're still Kia. Like, that's what it is with San Diego, dude, for real.
Because there's so many people that look at some of these organizations like the Commanders or the Padres as a small market team, lumping them in with a level of like the Royals.
Money-wise, no,
absolutely not. I mean, let's be truth. Every single one of these sports team owners across the NFL, Major League Baseball, and the NBA, they're all billionaires. The money is there.
Yeah.
Like, let's just, and I'm going to go off on that tangent here in a little bit when I start talking about losing Xander Bogaerts to the fucking Padres.
Oh my God. I was going to call you out and I just forgot because I was a little stoned during the break. But I was gonna call you out. You haven't addressed the fucking elephant in the room at all.
I figured
I'm just not going to now until it happens.
That's how we're gonna wrap when we finish this up.
Okay.
But but for the Commanders organization, the money has always been there, but they didn't want to spend it. They just wanted the profit. They wanted to spend the least amount of money to get the most profit. And John Gruden doesn't play that game. John Gruden understands that that's not how you win championships. And he took on, every time he takes on a head coaching role, he wants to win a championship. Which, who doesn't? Like, let's be honest here. Who doesn't?
Gruden's a winner. He's a dog.
He was a very knowledgeable football coach. Yes, he was a little old school for my style, but he was building a winning culture. If the whole situation with Gruden didn't happen and he was still just coaching the Raiders,
right?
They're a playoff team. Definitively a playoff team.
Yeah, I think so too. Just for culture and everything. Like, he's clearly like, that's what he's good at. Right. Mm-hmm. And like, for him to be in Washington, the soap opera that must have been behind the scenes was just fucking phenomenal. Like,
it sounds like that's exactly what it was. There was a fucking soap opera.
Absolutely, it was. Dude, you knew it was. And like, it's exactly for what you just said. It's a great point. Like, it's because Dan Snyder doesn't give a shit about the fucking football team. And John Gruden makes his fucking living giving an actual shit about the football team. And that's immediately going to fucking the whole time. And Snyder's got more money than Gruden does. Granted, Gruden has a lot of money for like normal people. But like, Snyder makes Gruden look like a peasant as far as money goes. And he could actually overrule him, but Gruden has the spirit. Like, Gruden had the spirit the whole time. He was like fighting for it. Like, that's what he does, dude. That's why he gets paid that amount of money, right?
Right.
And it's like they had to have just butted heads immediately. That's why it was fucking terrible. and like it ended up terrible. And then his fucking Oakland job ends up terrible because the Washington job ended up terrible. You know what I'm saying? Like that was and like because now he's got Snyder on his back. I can't imagine what John Gruden said to Dan Snyder's face that would be fucking hilarious to listen to. You know what I'm saying? Like just to be a fly on the wall during some of that shit was probably just fantastic because Gruden's.
I could think, I can think that was entertaining as fuck.
But dude, he's probably a savage in real life, like a straight savage. You can kind of tell he is.
You've got to be if you're at that level, and that's the thing. And that's why there's some of these guys like Eric Bieniemy. Eric Bieniemy is a very knowledgeable football coach. I don't think he's savage enough to be a super amazing, great NFL head coach. And I could be wrong. I could be wrong. And I would love to be wrong because I like Eric Bieniemy and I like what he's done for Kansas City.
But you're probably right.
But he does not come across as having that savage attitude. Andy Reid is a very likable and jovial guy, but you don't have to question if his savagery is there because even though you don't see it in interviews, you see it on the football field, what he's doing and the aggressiveness, the way he designs plays, the way he designs his entire scheme around the strengths of his team. Like the savagery is on display.
Yes.
Because he just exploits your weakness with his strengths. But you don't I don't see it with EB.
I don't either. And like the best part about Andy Reid, what makes him literally, I mean, he's on probably my top 3 head coach list of all time. I think he's right. I think he's right there. And mine are all like newer guys though too. So I don't know, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if my eye count, but like he is so like, what makes him so great is like his players know that dude is for real and don't fuck with him. But at the same time, he's cool to him the whole time. But like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but he got the little spurts of him coming out just because he's passionate about it. And obviously it helps when every fucking play you draw up works. You know what I'm saying? Like they're out there like, dude, this motherfucker, like it just works in the game. They're like, fuck, he's right. And that just backs it up further. You know what I'm saying? Like, so he, like you said, he doesn't even have to fucking really even prove it anymore. These motherfuckers know from how good this dude is at his job that it just don't fuck with him. And he's probably just super nice all the time, but like, he's still that authority figure. And I don't know if Eric Bieniemy has that. Like it's a fucking, I mean, it kind of happens once you get established. So like, you got to kind of try to figure out maybe a different way to get there. You know what I'm saying?
But I mean, if you look at McVay,
right,
great coach, you know, seems
way.
like this just, you know, coke fiend, but always happy, you know,
right,
all of that. But like, you can see that savagery is there. You're not winning a Super Bowl without it.
Oh, I mean, we've seen he gets in fucking quarterbacks' faces. Like he gets in like grabbing face masks.
Passionate and he's about it. You don't see that with EB. And like with McVay, you could see it even before he was a head coach. Like even when he was a coordinator, that energy was there. That's just how McVay was. Dan Campbell.
Yes.
Even when he was a coordinator, you could tell that passion was there.
Absolutely. I love me some Dan Campbell.
Oh, seriously. But it just, you don't see it with EB.
No.
And I'd love to be wrong, but it's just.
Do you think that the fact that he played in the NFL and wasn't very good affects the way that the players see him? It has to, right? I mean, it's almost better to either have never played in the NFL and they don't actually get to see you as a pro, right? So that maybe their imaginations can kind of get worked up to the fact that you might have been an okay player. Because I think that's part of the thing with a lot of dudes is like they don't, if they see your success in X's and O's, like Andy Reid, that's obviously a thing where they're like, oh, the dude fucking knows football. Like we're not expecting him to come out here and play left tackle. Do you know what I'm saying? But like with Dan Campbell, it's like the different, like, I don't know if Dan Campbell is an X's and O's guy at all. He's really not. Like, he's really not. He's more of a raw guy, right? Great fucking energy, like great passion, played in the NFL, pretty good player, right? Tough guy. So that's the two different kinds of coach that we're looking at, right? Because McVay's the same thing, never played in the pros. Like Josh McDaniels and Bieniemy are very similar in the fact that obviously one of them played in the NFL and one of them didn't, but like in the fact that I don't think they're leaders. They're not, they're coordinators. Like they should just be coordinators. And cause they are X's and O's guys, they're not raw guys, but you kind of have to have a part of both of that, right? Like you have to have
as a head coach,
good
mix.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. And I think they're way on the side of like just the X's and O's side. And they don't, they don't know how maybe to motivate people, which is completely understandable. Like they just don't know how to do it well. So like they just don't do it. They just know the X's and O's, and that's their part of the thing, right? And that always was. And because they were so good at it, they were like, "Oh, you could be a head coach." No, I don't think you can. I think you have to have the right attitude. And I think you're completely right about Eric Bieniemy.
Not every coordinator can be a great head coach.
No, a lot of them.
And I think that's a thing that people forget. Like being a coordinator versus being a head coach for an NFL team is it is even a completely different lifestyle.
Absolutely.
Being a head coach versus being an OC or DC.
You're kind of a little bit further back from the spotlight as a coordinator, right?
Right.
And
you're going to have those long days, but you're also not the first one in the building. You're not getting there at 4 a.m. and leaving at 9 p.m. You get there at 6:30, 7 o'clock, and you're out by 6 or 7.
And you don't have to stand in the spotlight. A lot of guys don't like the spotlight. I mean, that's all. It's a lot of fucking pressure.
You walk through the spotlight, but you don't spend too much time standing in it because, like, you've got your press conferences and things like that, and interviews that you'll do throughout the week and on Sundays or game day. Sorry, but it's the light isn't nearly as bright for a coordinator as it is for a head coach.
Would you say it's almost like president, senator? Like that's the difference. You know what I'm saying? Like not obviously not, no,
actually, honestly, that's pretty fair.
Right? Like just so like the senators, like obviously people pay attention to what they say, but at the same time, like they're just kind of doing a job that nobody really follows on a daily basis, right? And then the president obviously is like more of the face of the whole thing. That's really what it is. And like I would, I'd probably rather be a senator. I'm not sure, like I don't know if I like all that pressure of the spotlight either. I get it, but like that. Then don't become a head coach. Like I think that's probably why a lot of these teams haven't looked at Eric Bieniemy, is for that one fact right there. I think that they just don't think he has that those qualities.
And it makes the most sense because obviously, just like you said, he's a great X's and O's guy, and absolutely. I love I know that he's been instrumental in the growth of Patrick Mahomes. I'm not going to take anything away from anything of what he's done, but I think that dog doesn't have the bite that it needs to have if you're going to be a head coach in the NFL.
Right. I mean, if you're smart, you just pay Eric Bieniemy head coach price and you make him your offensive coordinator. If you want Eric Bieniemy on your team and you want his strategies and everything like that, get him as an offensive coordinator. Like pay him head coach money to be an offensive coordinator. Because that's what, like, get Josh McDaniels to be your offensive coordinator. Like get him to, pay him a bunch of money, pay him like head coach. What's the difference then? They're just basically saying like, or make him, what do they call it? It's not assistant head coach. It is assistant head coach. It's like the one that like, if coach can't perform his duties, blah, blah, blah. Like there's, like they have ones that are stronger relationships. Like, obviously Bieniemy is right now, he's the assistant head coach. And then, so like they have like kind of a hierarchy that isn't just the head coach. A couple of teams have, and that's, I mean, make it like that, but he doesn't need to be your head coach. He's the raw's not there. And like at that level, these guys need a type of motivation that not a whole lot of dudes understand. You know what I'm saying? Like they just don't really get, and the players can tell. They're smart. They can fucking tell.
Well, and I think that the, when you look at that entire situation, like you said, like there needs to be those pieces there. And I think the players see that he has a great understanding of X's and O's. We've talked multiple times about the fact that some of the best coaches are players that weren't very good.
Yeah.
Because they had to compensate up to that point that they actually ended up making it with their knowledge because their skill wasn't what it needed to be. And so as a habit, these individuals developed this knowledge. Eric Bieniemy was not the best player. That's pretty clear. But that man can call an offense. He calls most of the game for Kansas City now on offense. He just does that.
Oh, absolutely.
And I get that was, that part of that's because one of the criticisms that Bieniemy got in previous years during coaching searches was his lack of experience calling plays. This is his second year calling plays now.
On your kind of
Kansas
point
City's
about
9-3.
Sorry. Yeah. Oh, so, yeah. I mean, make an offensive coordinator. Sorry, I didn't mean cut you off, man. Make him an offensive coordinator, though, right? I mean,
yeah, absolutely. Yes. No, but you want to pay him head coach money because, yes, it's going to cost you a little bit more, and maybe you lower your standard a little bit on who the head coach is, or you have them as a defensive-minded coach, and you bring them in, let's say as an example. Arizona cleans house. They bring in Dan Campbell as the head coach and Eric Bieniemy as the offensive coordinator. That's a perfect combo.
Great. Yep.
That's a perfect combo because you can bring Dan Campbell in and say, "Hey, look, don't touch the offense. Eric will take care of it."
Yep.
And you're set because you know that defense is going to tighten up.
Oh yeah. Campbell's just gonna will him to fucking do it. He'll just jump around and shit. Fucking Hulk Hogan. He's like a Hulk Hogan of fucking of NFL coaches. Yeah. It's always like, brother. He's always fucking so intense. But beating me though too, to your point about guys not being very good players and being good coaches. Brett Favre, his rookie year, I think it was actually his second year in the NFL, his first year with Green Bay. There's a video of him asking, and I believe it's who is it? I can't remember who it is, but there's a video of him asking what nickel coverage is. He's in a regular season game because he's so fucking talented, right? That he didn't have to have a knowledge. He just went out there and threw the ball. He was so good at playing football that he just went out there and was like, I don't even know what the fuck. He didn't even know what nickel defense was. That's literally.
Well, yeah. And then somebody told him what it was. And he goes, "Oh, that's it? Well, I know what you do with that." And that's because he just didn't know the terminology. And that's the thing is I've always thought that was one of the interesting things that people forget about quarterbacks coming into the NFL out of college. And it's one of the reasons I'm against making a rookie quarterback start in most cases is language. And they don't know how to read defenses most of the time because as a college football quarterback, most of the time you don't have to read defenses.
Your guys are better than the other guys. You guys are just better than the other guys. And here they're not.
And that funnel has finally gotten down to that finite point where every player that you're up against is elite. Is it that top standard of athlete? And so you can't get away with not knowing what a nickel defense is or a cover two shell. You got to know what those are and recognize them so that you can adjust.
Absolutely. I mean, there's a reason Brett Favre is the all-time leader in interceptions as well. You know what I'm saying? Slinging, bro. Gun slinging.
Just slinging.
Slinging. All over the place, just in text messages and everything. But just slanging, bro. Slanging.
Just slinging.
Just fucking slinging. But I'm actually this is terrible to say. I'm actually I think I'm a fan. Shut up, watch. But I'm actually not a fan of dudes having a bunch of success in high school and college. Trevor Lawrence, dude, he should have lost some. Somebody should have beat him a little bit because
no, I think you're right about that. We've talked about that before, and I agree.
Right. Not only are we going to make this guy win through a level that's not as prestigious as the NFL, as far as media and people around you and everything just telling you you're fucking awesome the whole time. And then you get in the NFL and you have to deal with it on the largest stage. You have to deal with fucking disappointment and loss and and suckiness. You didn't lose. Trevor Lawrence lost 2 games for 8 fucking years or whatever. It was 10 years of playing football. He lost 2 games total. Right? I mean, he went undefeated through high school, I think. I think he went close to undefeated all the way through high school. Or he did go undefeated through high school. Every year he won the state title. Something like that. Something stupid. And then he went to fucking Clemson and lost 2 games total in 3 fucking years. Right? And they're the 2 biggest games. And that's on a big stage. You deal with it there, I guess. But when you get to the NFL, he just started dealing with L's, bro, all day. It was oh, I'm 0-1. I've never been 0-1 before. On the largest stage that you can possibly be on, we're going to just tell him to just be okay with it. You know what I'm saying? It's strange.
And because, I mean, it's about finding players that are battle tested, especially when you're going into a starting from the jump off. Like, and I know that we've talked about this, if you're going to be starting a rookie quarterback, you should be going to that college that you just drafted them from and saying, all right, terminology, playbook, give it to me.
Yep.
And then you're going to use that to teach him your system. You're going to adjust your system and expand it out slowly using the things that quarterback already knows. Because we've established that in this modern day in the game, the quarterback is the most important position on your roster. And so when you pick a quarterback out of the draft, you need to be adjusting your system to that quarterback, not making the quarterback adjust the system to you, because that's how they're going to find success because they know what to expect.
Absolutely. Yep. I mean, go ahead.
You're going to get a much quicker return on making your veteran receivers learn new terminology for the routes that they have to run than you will from having a 22-year-old kid coming in and trying to learn everything brand new.
Because they're not actually learning that. Like they're just kind of like dipping their toes into it, and then, hey, go out there and be somebody. Like it's like what
exactly?
Like
trial by fire.
He doesn't Trevor Lawrence was like, I don't even remember some of the words, bro. Like, I don't even remember some of the words. Like in the huddle, he had to have been like, eights. Like he just like made, he just made it a different terminology immediately because he was like, I fucking don't. Like some of those play calls are fucking hilarious, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Like the John Gruden, coming full circle. Used to have the hilarious fucking play calls where you'd be like, it's Tango 8 Alpha 7 49 8er. Like some weird, and it would be like the fucking title would be like 6 seconds long, like because he's got to tell every position group a different thing, right? And obviously he's getting in the helmet, but like some of the play calls are fucking ridiculous, dude. It's so much terminology, it's so much and then you have to go out there against the best athletes in the world and throw touchdowns.
Exactly.
Get out there and be somebody. Like it's hard enough without having to take the ACTs every fucking 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? Like it's craziness. Like yes, transfer everything over. Get their college system going where they're running fucking read option and shit, because that shit works now. Because if they're good enough, Sunshine's good enough. He could have ran
Sunshine.
He could have ran fucking Sunshine. He could have ran fucking Clemson's offense in the NFL 100%.
Yeah.
And he would be able to know what's going on. He has that half second of adjustment that he can make, which gets rid of injuries. You know what I'm saying? Like it's so many advantages to it. So many advantages. And they're just like, no. Because we have Josh McDaniels, we're going to run Ace 7, 47-9er, Turkey, down low, 47-8 route cross with a 7-8er. And I was like, what the fuck are you, what? I don't even know where people are going. So these guys are crossing over then? Okay, got it. Check. You guys block those guys. Okay, good.
Well, I mean, just think about it. When you think about the amount of time it takes in the NFL for the call to get to their quarterback relay it to the players get to the line. That play clock's 40 seconds, 30, it's 40 seconds, isn't it?
Yeah.
How often when we were playing football as kids, we just get to that huddle and be like, all right, you two do a zig, you two block up front, you get back for the pitch. And then we walk to the line. You
know what most of the 7-on-7 kids play calls used to be? Just
slants.
Fucking get open. Just fucking get open. All right. But like that's really what it was for a lot of these guys in college, dude. Yeah. Simple play calls where they were just like, hey, get open. Like that was a play call. Like, I got you, get open. Michael Crabtree at Texas Tech, that motherfucker was a goddamn beast, dude. Beast. He was like fucking DK Metcalf, like without the speed. The speed. Yeah, he was like DK fair. Metcalf that ran a Tony 40 on fucking ran a Dan 40. Right now.
He has a
right
6 second 40. 6 second
now.
40.
5'7". I can do a 5'7" on you. And then I'm gonna have to fucking I'm gonna need a breather. I'm gonna need a fucking breather for like a good couple of days. Like couple of days. Just get my lungs back. Let me get my lungs back.
Get my lungs back.
But yeah, like it's 5'7". But anyway, just fucking physically dominant. Like, and they just ran routes like, hey, Mike, just get open, bro. Like, he was so strong and he was decently fast, but he like quick in small spaces. He reminds me of like Deebo Samuel. But yeah, I mean, that's what it is. Just get open. Just get open. But I mean, yeah, the terminology they're throwing at these guys is fucking ridiculous. Trevor Lawrence clearly took like what, a year and a half now. He's just starting to get it. You can tell this is Trevor Lawrence now.
Well, it's like, and what's even crazier, I don't know how much you watch of the Raiders Rams game tonight. I know it's still going. It is 16-10 at the present moment.
Man, sounds like a Raiders fucking nightmare of a game.
Well, and honestly, what was interesting about it was, so when they came out, so Baker just got claimed out. Baker's been an LA Ram for less than 2 days, right?
He didn't start,
He didn't start, no, but they came out, the Rams, their first possession, they went 3 and out. It was all handoffs for John Warford. And then when they came out for the next possession, it was Baker. And he immediately throws an absolute dime.
Really?
On his first pass. Like, obviously there's some growing pains, and this man was thrown to the fire, but there is some benefits because of a lot of what they do in LA came from Stefanski's system, which obviously Baker's aware of. So there's a lot of similarities with the terminology, and he already knows some of it. So they kind of just focused on that just because Wolford couldn't play. And so you've at least got Baker in there. And to this point, Baker is 18 of 30, 158 yards, no touchdowns, but no picks.
No picks. That's a good Baker game. That's a good Baker game.
74 QBR. He's got a better QBR than Derek Carr, who has a 58 because he's thrown a pick. He's 11 for 19 and 137 yards.
And they're winning the game, correct?
Yeah, the Raiders are winning the game.
That's a good. No, the Raiders are okay. 16-10. You said okay.
16-10. Yeah.
So Bake's keeping him in it then.
Mm-hmm.
At least I thought he was up, and I was like, that's a good Baker start. If he's leading 16-10, and
I mean, but that's the thing is, so right now. So it looks like they just got the ball. There's 1:20 left, and they have the ball at the 40-yard line.
Wow. Okay, so he's got a chance.
So
this could be Baker magic.
This could be Baker magic. For those of you that watch the show Undisputed on FS1 in the mornings, please remember that if Baker Mayfield wins tonight, Skip Bayless will be so goddamn insufferable in the morning that you'll probably miss the episode. Honestly, Erica doesn't like Baker Mayfield that much.
I know, that's what she said. But I mean, that's a big time. It's a big time Sooner. He's a big time Sooner. They love him in Norman, dude. He's a fucking legend in Norman. He's Johnny Football. He's Johnny Football in Norman. She loves him.
Football in Norman.
She loves him. She just thinks he's cute and blushes. It's fantastic. Hey, good looking guy. Good looking guy. Good
looking guy.
I love how Colin Cowherd, and I kind of fucking have to bag on him for it too. The fucking police video where he gets caught by the policeman trying to run, and he looks slow as shit. The cop just catches him immediately, dude.
Cowherd.
Yes, Cowherd makes fun of him for it. You have to understand. I want to fucking back Bake right here on this video. You have to understand he's not just like. Do you know how many balls it takes to do what he did, dude? Like. That's what people don't realize about that video. Like, Baker Mayfield has fucking balls, bro. There was 2 cops right in front of him. He's cuffed. And he's just going to make a fucking run for it. Like, in his mind, where was that okay to do? Like, what part? Like, that tells you about Baker Mayfield's fucking attitude and his mindset so much that he thinks he can do it, and then he kind of fails. But the thing is, like, he thinks he can do it is like a lot. That's a good thing for a quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Like
that's an important fact to think about with that, because that's where his mind is. I wouldn't be surprised if he were to end up in broadcasting after, if he wasn't like a Tony Romo-esque thing where he sees a lot more and knows a lot more than you think he did.
He does. And then
he's a prime candidate for that kind of outcome for that, honestly.
Right. And he's like the opposite of what we're talking about, or he is the actual epitome of what we're talking about. Like, he was really good in college because he was still better than most of the guys he played, like most of them, right? And his mind was working faster as well, which made him a Heisman winning a great college quarterback. Great, right?
Yeah.
And then he gets in the NFL and he realizes that not only does his mind have to be at that level, but his actual physical talents have to be at a level that he thinks he has still, because it's, he got it fucking ingrained into his mind, dude, for a long time that he could make every throw. Because he could make every throw at the levels that he played at. And to not it would be so hard on his side to like recalibrate your brain, basically, to now just be like, oh, well, I can't make I can't do everything. Like I got to not throw across my body. And like, dude, what? That's what I've been doing my whole life,
Right.
And like, and like, these dudes are just picking him off. He's like, oh, fuck. Everybody's
in his mind. And if you watch Baker and the way that he plays, in his mind, he can do what Patrick Mahomes does.
In his mind, he's Josh Allen. In his mind, Baker is Baker Allen.
Baker Allen.
Younger, better looking brother of Josh. That's how Baker's mind is reading, basically. You know what I'm saying? Like he's just
Patrick Mayfield. He's
shaking.
He's Baker Allen and Patrick Mayfield all rolled into one.
All into one thing. He's got Patty's arm and Allen's physicality. Yep. In Baker Mayfield's mind. And then he snaps to real life and there's just a dude fucking crushing him. Just fucking hitting him as hard as he could possibly hit him. He's fumbling the ball. It's like, fuck, man. Like, it's got to be hard to get out of that mindset, though.
And I do feel bad for him because I do think that there has been some situational things that have impacted his results. But I also think, like, I agree with Shannon Sharpe when he says he's just not that guy. He's a guy, but he's not that guy.
And everybody in those locker rooms can see it. Everybody in those locker rooms can see it. They like him. He's a likable guy. I'm sure he really is.
Likable guy.
I bet we would love to have a beer with Baker Mayfield. Like, I bet he's a fun guy. He's a huge douche, probably, right? But like, so am I. So like, I totally get it.
I mean,
like, yeah, like we probably be best friends. Me and him, exactly. Me and Baker Mahomes, the third. No, but Baker. He's like, yeah. I just sometimes in the bathroom, I call myself Baker Mahomes. I'm like, you're fucking weird, bro. But no, you're fucking weird.
They scored.
No, they did. If Baker let him down the field, just stabbing the flag into the fucking midfield, Baker Mayfield.
Baker Mayfield threw a
dime, probably. Just laser. An old Baker laser.
It was a 23-yard touchdown pass to Van Jefferson with 10 seconds left.
Oh my God, dude.
10 seconds so left in the game, and the Rams are up 17-16.
So perfect.
Holy shit. And I just lost $25 on this game, but that's okay.
Oh, God damn it. Baker, man.
The one fucking time I believe the Raiders can be successful.
You should look back and maybe look at the main points of this and just go, shit, why did I not know that?
Yeah.
Oakland loses in disappointing fashion. Baker Mayfield gets his ego further stroked on a whim chance, which is what keeps his personality going. It's what keeps him rolling,
If Shannon Sharpe calls in tomorrow for Undisputed, and there's no Shannon Sharpe, it's just Skip Bayless.
I might actually stomach Skip Bayless for an hour to watch that show.
I'm looking forward to the opening of Undisputed now. That's actually interesting.
I respect Skip Bayless so much. It's hard to like.
Oh yeah,
hard to.
I respect him.
Like that guy.
I know he's one of the lizard people, but I respect him because without Skip Bayless doing what he did in the 90s, the format that we have and for sports podcasts to do this type of thing, I don't think it would be where it is today.
It's safe to say that our show doesn't exist without the existence of Skip Bayless. That's a fucking fact. That's lizard person shit. That's some lizard person shit.
That's some lizard person shit.
They like to make small waves stay under the radar. They're fucking brilliant. They're still making moves. Hey, that guy we sent back to Russia, probably a lizard guy. If that's the trade, unfair. Send her back. Get him back in here, and put him in a fucking steel box for the remainder of his life, and ask him questions. And I want to meet him. And like for real.
One lamp.
Very
one Batman, lamp in the steel box.
The Dark Knight Returns. Yeah, I'm just in the room. Okay, but anyway, but I mean, it doesn't exist without Skip. He's a fucking legend, and I bet he's actually kind of a cool guy in real life. You gotta like Republican stuff,
But here's the thing. Think about this: if you had the chance to go to California and sit at his nice house on his back porch with a cigar and a glass of bourbon.
Oh yeah, I bet he drinks Mick Ultra though, but still.
You just sit there and just let him teach. Class is in session. You ask questions and he just goes. It's like when you try to do a Q&A with Kevin Smith. You ask a question, and 30 minutes later, you've heard of some amazing stories and probably laughed a little bit, but he still didn't answer your fucking question.
No, exactly. I am debating Skip. Dude, I'm debating Skip within probably 6 or 7 minutes of meeting him. Like I'll go through like the awkward, like weird till we get sat down shit. But like almost the first thing out of my mouth is going to be a fucking something about sports. And I'm going to start like debating him. And it's going to be natural because I'm going to be like, dude, I got to do it. Right. But like, and I'm going to be wearing a nice pair of Jordans. You get the Jordans with the jeans.
What's crazy is that's actually kind of made me want to look at like a nice pair of Jordans or, I thought about maybe getting some Kyries, but that's not going to happen. Maybe
I have some suggestions. They all start with the LeBron. The LeBron 6. LeBron 6s are nice. Actually, you know what? I think Jordan actually makes better shoes. I like Jordan shoes better than LeBron's. LeBron doesn't have as big a history, obviously. But
my problem with getting high tops is I have very wide feet. And so it's hard for me to find shoes that are comfortable because most high tops, the shoes themselves are a lot thinner, and that hurts the side of my feet. Something fucking crazy.
7. Have you ever owned a pair of Jordans?
No, I have not.
Oh my good God, they're the most.
I'm a poor white guy. I have never owned a pair of Jordans.
They make, trust me, they make every fucking size. They make wide and the fucking narrow ones, and they make every size, dude. Yeah, oh yeah, dude. And they are like pillows for your feet. Not a joke.
Tell you what,
some of the most fucking comfortable shoes I've ever worn in my life.
I will let you get me a pair of Jordans for Christmas then.
There you go. Yeah, I can do that. I might send you some out of the personal collection. But yeah, I mean, I don't have them on right now. I don't have any shoes on, but like they're fucking awesome, dude. Like they're really. I have the Jordan 6, and it's fucking the Space Jam edition, where they're the white and they got the blue accents on them, and underneath it says 6 for 6. It says on one tongue it says 6 for 6, and on the other one it says 2-3 spaced out. And dude, they're like the most fucking comfortable shoes I've ever worn in my life. Like they're amazing. Like they're very padded, and like they're obviously quality. It's like very, like you're gonna pay.
Well, I mean, you pay money for Jordans, but they also I've learned with those shoes you definitely get what you pay for in the comfort department. It's not just about the brand. Like they make a good shoe,
right? And they're worth it. Like the 6s, they had that weird like shiny shit on them. Remember those? Like when he started like with the new generation stuff, like whereas like the toe had that shiny black part on top of it with the white or whatever. That stuff falls off and shit all the time. But like, cause it's just like glued on there basically. But like, other than that, dude, like the actual structure of them is fantastic. They're awesome. I destroy shoes, and I've had these things forever. Like, I destroy shoes, break them. Like those break from the, like apparently the force of, I don't know, me walking. Maybe I should readjust how I walk, but yeah, no, they're super awesome. Good shoes.
Well, and that's the thing is I have to be careful on what I do with shoes, and I've had to start purposely looking and making sure I'm getting wide shoes, because that's what I was doing. Like, because I can clean my shoes up, I don't have a problem putting in that work to take care of them, but I would blow out the sides, and it was because my feet were too wide. And so now that I actually took the time and got that figured out, and it's been a little bit better. I'm choosing better shoe wise, but I still need I need to find a few more pair, because my nicest is a pair of Vans high tops right now. I want to elevate my shoe game a little bit.
You know what the weirdest thing is? You asked me about those Pumas. You're like, you ever had Pumas before? And I was like, yeah. I was like, I really liked them. And I was like, oh fuck, dude, his feet are huge. Like, I was like, they are. I remember them being for me too. Like they were just fucking like super. Like they weren't very comfortable. I remember them. You know what I'm saying? Like they were really cool.
And that's the thing. Like they and those Pumas that I had, like they looked really good. I legitimately liked them, but my feet are just so I just couldn't do it.
Any cloth on the shoe, Tony? We shouldn't wear it. Overall story of that whole thing. If there's cloth on it, it's not going to support it. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like it ain't gonna. We walk like Welshmen. Too much like Welshman.
Too much like Welshman.
He runs like a Welshman, doesn't he? Doesn't he run like a Welshman?
Family guy. Okay. All right. So as we wrap up tonight, I am in a state of mourning. But as I think about it today, I'm just pissed off and still in a state of mourning. Xander Bogaerts is in the process of signing an 11-year, $280 million contract with the San Diego Padres. leaving the Boston Red Sox, who were offering him 4 years for $90 million.
Oh my God. I hadn't heard that offer yet. I heard like that they were like way off, but like that's fucking hilarious.
That they were way off. 4 years for $90 million for one of the best shortstops to ever step on a fucking diamond.
Ooh, that's a high praise of Xander Bogaerts. That's high praise.
It's accurate praise.
Oh God, I don't know, man.
Defensively,
we're not going to get into that because we'll talk about that for fucking a half hour. Go ahead. Right. Yeah.
But like Boston undervalued Mookie Betts. The Dodgers paid him. Boston undervalued Xander Bogaerts, and now the Padres are paying him. And
wasn't it like one more? I don't mean to make you recount it, but I think there was like one more guy that they just like fucking just didn't even get close on. I can't remember. Of course, I think it might have just been the two, but like who? Lester, it was John Lester. Yes, John Lester.
It was John Lester.
Cubs, right? Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I know it's painful for you to recount.
Thanks for bringing that up. I thought I was going to get to sleep tonight, but now I'm going to be crying more tears because I missed John Lester.
What do you think of this jersey, though? By the way, it's pretty nice.
Is that the new one?
It's the All-Star, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Is that All-Star action? Oh yeah.
I need to get the new Suns jersey from this year, the turquoise one. Did I send you the video on that one? So they
have cool jersey game.
The City Connects jersey for the Suns this year. They partnered with all of the tribes in Arizona for this design, and it's turquoise blue. There's different tribal references all over it. When they the home games where they wear the jersey, there's tribal dances that they do beforehand, and they make it look even cooler. Like it's they're having a lot of fun with it and making it look cool in the process. But it is such a clean fucking jersey. I want one so damn bad.
I mean, you're wearing a fucking clean that one you're wearing now is fucking clean.
Oh, I love this jersey.
That one is fucking awesome. Like their style. Whoever does their fucking. I mean, obviously they have a coordinator of that, right? Like a style. It's probably called like the style coordinator, right, or something like that. Doing a great job. Shout out to the Phoenix Suns fucking merchandise people. Whoever's fucking making that shit. You guys are awesome.
But it's what really frustrates me with Xander. That's weird.
It is weird. Hi, Sports Report logo.
I don't know what's going on with my camera, so I apologize. This issue with
the Red Sox being cheap. Oh, I lost him. Yeah, no, I'm going to keep going on the he's back. The Red Sox being cheap, though.
Yeah, I understood that the last few years, and I'll even say that the casualty of Mookie Betts, Boston still had some contracts on the books that they needed to get off. And I kind of
like that, Tony. This is how the show should be.
Oh God,
should be me on the left side as huge, and then you, even when you have your camera on, should just be like you. And there you go. See, I mean, I'm just trying it out. Like that's the fans are asking. There we go. See, the fans are asking, and I have to.
The fans are not asking for anything.
I have to appease. No,
but it frustrates me that Boston is still taking this route. They're not even right now. They're not even looking at hitting the first luxury tax line. You're supposed to be. It's one of the biggest baseball markets in the country, and you're not even flirting with a luxury tax line. Like you should be spending money. Your fans want you to spend money. Red Sox announced that they were going to be raising ticket prices next year. Nobody batted an eye until they lost Xander Bogaerts.
I have a conspiracy zone thing here, Tony, about the Red Sox.
Okay.
Might have to go a little bit conspiracy zone. I think that they thought that a lot of obviously just the Yankees probably, or maybe another team were going to go into rebuild mode. I think that they had information that Aaron Judge was going to go to San Francisco. I think that somebody was telling them that, somebody who they trusted was telling them that. And I think that they were like, all right, so the best thing for us to do financially is to go into rebuild mode because the Yankees, if they lose Judge, are basically in rebuild mode, right? So like that'll give us at least a year and a half or so to try and, get some of these young guys to come up, just like New York's going to do. right? And so I think they were. I'm not saying like, and I was kind of being team centric, thinking that they were like somehow, but there's a rivalry there. I think it fuels a lot of what New York and Boston do. Am I wrong?
Well, I mean, I think that because I mean, there's an expectation. Yes, the Red Sox Yankees rivalry is not what it used to be, but there is still an expectation of that, of that those series when they happen throughout the season, just like when the Chiefs play the Raiders. The Raiders have beat the Chiefs 3 times in the last 10 years.
It's not a good. Yeah,
it's not a good number, but at the same time, when the Raiders build their roster, they are looking at their games with the Chiefs and what they're going to have to do, and then building out from there.
Yes, because not only does it hold you to like the higher standard, but with your fans and everything, like it holds, like they have to compete with the Yankees. That's part of the expectation from the fan base, which is one of the most intense fan bases in the United States, obviously, and like a lot of their revenue and a lot of, for money, it's good to like keep up with the Joneses.
Right.
So like, I think that was a lot of it. And I think that New York threw a curveball. I think that your boy, Brian Cashman, threw the best curveball since Clayton Kershaw, and fucking just was like, nope, just kidding. We're fucking going to sign. We're going to pay Judge. And you know what I'm saying? Like, and I think the Red Sox were like, oh shit. Like, we didn't think he was coming back. Like, we thought we were going to be on the same level. And then, so they had to scramble. And in the scrambling, I think the Bogaerts deal got put on the off burner. They might have actually wanted somebody else to sign Xander Bogaerts. Do you know what I'm saying? If that's the strategy, like to kind of bring your young guys up, let him go. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, go ahead.
And really the best case scenario for Boston for next year, you move Story back over to shortstop, even though he was one of the weakest arm shortstops in Major League Baseball. He's better at second base than he is at short, but you almost have to move him back to short. You pull Kike in from center field, and that new outfielder that they just got from Japan, put him in the outfield.
Yep. And then you move somebody over to center, because I think that the Japanese guy plays as a corner. So, but
he plays left or right. But I mean, you've got some options, because you've got Verdugo that you can put out there.
Think about Story though, dude. Like, not only is he weak armed, that dude is fucking huge for short, like play shortstop. Like, yeah, like Correa can kind of do it because Correa's a little more slender, right? Mm-hmm. And then you have bigger guys. Fernando Tatis is young, athletic. He can still do it. That, like, obviously, no Cruz and shit.
And that's one of the things that may happen is Boston may because Boston may make a play for Fernando Tatis.
That would be, yeah. I think at this point, since they have to, like, I would imagine them.
Your 3 biggest options are Dansby Swanson,
right?
Carlos Correa,
yep,
or getting Tatis.
Yeah, and with the kind of shitstorm that I'm sure they're dealing with right now, like, I'm sure they're not, like, there's a lot of unhappy, like, you're one of them. A lot of unhappy Red Sox fans who are like, what the fuck?
I'm a rationally unhappy Red Sox fan.
I'm not saying you're not being ridiculous.
But there are plenty of Red Sox fans that are not rational.
Yeah. Tony, you're pissed. I can tell. And if you're pissed, the people who are not probably shouldn't be getting pissed are fucking super pissed off. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're like a lot of those people. Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if when that, because when that news broke, the Red Sox teams were on the management and their press and all of that was on their way back on 2 separate planes from the winter meetings. So I would not be surprised if that news broke and they were like, yeah, we need to make sure we've got extra security waiting for you at the airport.
Crazy, dude.
Think about it.
You're right. And that's crazy.
It should, it shouldn't have to be that way. And I'm not advocating for violence on Bloom. I think he's an idiot. But honestly, that's the other thing that I want to say about this is I don't 100% blame Bloom for this. I blame John Henry.
Dude, yeah, blame anybody who had networking within that upper management. You know what I'm saying? Because they were getting some wrong information. I think they were. I think they were just kind of like, hey, I think a lot of the guys or people in our division are going to fucking, start to kind of rebuild, bring their young guys up, and maybe not be fucking crazy good for like a year and a half or so, 2 years. I think that's a lot of the information they were getting, and they just were kind of playing it back, and they were playing it well because they have a good farm system and shit, right? I mean,
they do, but I mean, Toronto is going right now. I would say Toronto is probably going to be the best team in the division. And it's not because they've made a bunch of moves, because they haven't really made any big moves, but they didn't need to. They're just letting their young guys get more experience, which is all they needed to do. Tampa Bay has made a couple of choice moves. So now you look at Baltimore and Boston. Baltimore is clearly on the upward trajectory. So that's going to, right now, because New York is probably in that mix for second or third in the division, possibly even the top.
It's all
right
about
up in
health,
that top three. So, right. So right now, Boston is playing for the bottom.
Yeah.
Unless they can actually make some aggressive moves, which they need to be. The fans Boston fans are okay with spending money as long as they're spending money to get championships.
Absolutely. To like either shit or get off the pot. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And they can't do that now though, bro. They didn't shit. So they got to get off the pot at this point. But at the same time, make smart moves and make it look like, hey, is Christian Vasquez still on the market?
He's still on the market, but
you need to bring him back. That needs to be move number one.
Actually, I think one of the reasons they may not have done that yet is they still may be trying for Sean Murphy.
But doesn't Christian Vasquez make such a bigger impact on the whole team as far as is what we're talking about as far as kind
locker
of culture
room
and stuff goes? Yeah.
Locker room, I think that Vasquez makes a bigger impact, but
huge.
Getting Murphy is a move that just makes them better, because obviously Sean Murphy's a very talented catcher, both behind the plate and at the plate. Whereas with Vasquez, you're getting a lot behind the plate and 225 at the plate.
See, Tony, you're answering it like a smart person. Like you're talking like on the field. Is it better? Yes. Is Sean Murphy a better player? Yes. Yes. He's a better all-around player than Christian Vasquez. Probably not by much, but he is. But just for as far as how it feels in the locker room and stuff, you would want Christian Vasquez back, though, right? I mean,
I think that getting that locker room right is going to be crucial, because the harder Rafael Devers has the harder time Rafael Devers has feeling comfortable in that locker room this year, the higher his price tag is going to go up.
Right. And think about how it fucking, how it seems as far as the fans too. It works on both sides, because the team's going to love it because they love Christian Vasquez. They really did. And then the fans are going to go, oh, we know what Christian Vasquez is. We know he's a good player, right? So we're getting better. I don't know if a whole lot of Boston fans you know who fucking Sean Murphy is, because you know a lot about baseball. But do you think that obviously all Boston fans don't know as much about baseball as you do? So they probably won't even know who Sean Murphy is. He's been in fucking Oakland. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it'll be oh, who's this Sean Murphy guy? Yeah, he's an Irish guy. Great. But no, but it would just be way better just for the fans and everybody. I think it works on both sides. It's a win-win to bring Vasquez back. And I would hope they're talking to him, right? I mean,
yeah, the conversation that they've said that the conversation's been open the whole time. So I would assume they're waiting for the Sean Murphy decision to fall, and then if Sean Murphy goes somewhere else, they're going to sign Vasquez.
Oh God, from a management standpoint, if we're in fucking Red Sox management, we want to just get Christian Vasquez, right? Don't fuck around and wait until Sean Murphy, because then Christian Vasquez sees that and goes, oh, you guys, I'm just your last fucking choice, right? Doesn't he kind of?
I think they should be getting Vasquez whether they get Murphy or not.
So if they can sign both of them, but definitely get Vasquez back.
Absolutely. Why not?
Yeah. Because what you're saying though, you're being smart and rational and being yeah, Sean Murphy, when it's, if we don't get him, then obviously go for Vasquez. But just from we were talking about a locker room or clubhouse and a fucking fan standpoint, just go get Christian Vasquez, dude. Whatever. He's not going to demand that much money. What is it? Probably $13.5 million a year, something like that. 13, 14, 15, maybe. Is that his market?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it is. Okay. So yeah, I mean, I just for how it's going to make Christian Vasquez feel, I feel he's going to be oh, I was just you guys' last choice. Fuck you. And you traded me away. I don't know.
Well, we'll see what happens.
You're just bummed out about it. I can tell.
I am.
I would be too.
Martha probably said half a dozen times to me last night, it's just a game. It's just baseball.
Yep.
They will figure it out. It's not the end of the world. And it's just like, you don't understand.
Of our world, it kind of is, Martha. Of our worlds, it kind of is.
This is another generational player that they let slip through their fucking hands. Could you imagine how dominant that team would be right now with Mookie Betts and Xander Bogaerts still on that roster?
Welcome to our world, Martha. Welcome. We care way too much about this. We care way too much about this.
And also she's like, it's like, you don't understand. She's like, I'm a D-backs fan. I understand. And I said, no, you don't understand. Because
that's a good point, though.
They trade out the players before they're good enough for it to mean this much of an impact. She said, no, they got rid of all that team after the World Series in 2002. And I was like, yeah. So it's been a long time. This is new for me.
Dude, she had Luis Gonzalez, bro. She's been doing this for years. Like,
and what's even worse is the fact that the D-backs lost Luis Gonzalez to the Dodgers. Rival.
Yeah. They've been down there in Arizona for a while. Tony Womack hurting.
All right, man. Well,
so don't think that your pain is like all original, Tony. That's basically the point of this. Like, you think that you're the first one to suffer as a shitty team because your team is shitty. Like, they're shitty. My team signed Aaron Judge, the biggest free agent, and we're just like, okay. So I'm not like that much, I'm like, we're like, okay. It's better to be like, okay, though, than Red Sox right now, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Well, how do they undervalue, Tony? How do they undervalue Xander Bogaerts that badly?
Here's the thing. How do you undervalue Xander Bogaerts and overvalue Trevor Story?
Yeah, I like Trevor Story a lot. I like Trevor Story.
Right. I'm glad that we have Trevor Story. I'd like him better at second than I do at short.
Yes.
And Trevor Story has a great bat, which is a huge advantage. But how do you undervalue Xander Bogaerts, who is amazing defensively and a reliable bat, but
by
overvalue
$190 million? That's the difference.
Overvalue Trevor Story, who was better once he was moved to a new position, and in the position that you're going to have to use to fill him with, he has 50. His arm was rated as 56th of 62 rated for the position.
Yeah,
that's fucking insane.
And he's not even mobile. That's the thing too. Like he can't even like turn double plays basically. Like, because you have a smaller guy who has a weak arm, like Isaiah Kiner-Falefa from New York has a fucking weak arm, but he's super quick. Right. Like, he can get to every ball and he can toss it to second base. Obviously, you don't have to have a great arm to do that. Like, right. So like, and Story dude is just a big dude. Like, he almost seems like a third baseman. Like he needs to be over there, not moving that much. Like it's weird. You're in kind of a peril with the
And infield speed is going to be so crucial this year because I think that so many people keep forgetting that the shift has been banned now. Like next season, there's not going to be a shift. So speed on your infield is going to be that much more important.
Yep.
And
youth probably
like
too.
The Braves and youth, and it seems like the Padres are one of the only teams that's countering for that.
Yeah, they do. They really do. I mean, depending on playing fucking LeMahieu at second base sometimes. That dude's like Trevor Story. I mean, that's a similar story to Trevor Story, right? I mean, we're not going to take LeMahieu and just put him at shortstop. Like that ain't, it's probably not happening. So like, I don't know. They're kind of similar as far as like, they aren't mobile. They're bigger dudes. They have good bats, but that's the only reason they're in there. So, and they can't play the outfield obviously, because they're not mobile enough and you can't DH everybody. So yeah, you guys are in a peril, man. Like, you have to go get Dansby Swanson or fucking Correa, or like there's going to be people like burning cars.
Honestly, I would love to see them grab Tatis in a trade.
Ooh, that would be a huge move.
I would legitimately love to see that, because yes, that means you're out the first 42 games of the season without him, but you can use your AAA shortstop as a backup, have Story play short for that first 42 games, and put Kike at second, or just put Kike at short. Leave Story where he's at so he doesn't change positions in midseason. Put Kike at short, and then move him to the outfield when Tatis comes back, and you're set. And even if you split the first 42 games, you can still at least be a wild card team.
Yes. And an ending for me, Tony, on the Red Sox thing, if they don't make, so any move that they make to me doesn't do anything. Like, even if they get fucking, if they get Tatis, that's a huge splash. It's more important for the fan base and support wise for that team at this point, because I don't think they're going to be that fucking great with, they sign Carlos Correa. Say they make 2 correct moves and go out and get Sean Murphy and Correa. On the field wise, I still don't think they can beat for a fucking division title. At this point, do you?
I think a lot of things here. I think a lot of it, because even with those moves, Boston still needs to do some work on their pitching.
Right. They have a lot of holes.
You've got 2 pitchers in Chris Sale and I can't remember the other one is off the top of my head that have spent more time on the injured list than playing the last few seasons.
Ridiculous.
And you're going to have Garrett Whitlock and Tanner Houck in your rotation this year, but you need at least 1 or 2 more start. You need at least 1 starter, Rodon preferably, but possibly a second one. And I think you still need to get. You need a catcher. You still need to get at least 1 more arm in the pen,
and obviously shortstop. Probably shortstop. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like, I want to believe that things are going to turn around because it's only December, but I think about that scene in 10 Things I Hate About You.
Okay.
When Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character is like, "We're screwed," and the nerdy guy goes, "Oh, come on, be positive." He goes, "We're screwed." That's how I feel right now.
Yes, absolutely. Like, no matter what happens, unfortunately, because like
we're screwed.
If you guys are going to take some L's anyway, like, make a splash and like make it look like you're actually trying, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't just roll over. Like, make a splash, make it look like you're trying, because that'll take care of the fan base as far as like positivity. Because if you guys come out, you're going to lose regardless of what happens, like move wise. You're going to fucking lose a lot. And so why don't you make that losing a little bit more bearable for the fan base? You know what I'm saying? Like, to keep them behind you, keep them interested, because you're going to lose regardless. So like, don't not make any moves and then lose. And so everybody goes, fuck that team. At least there's like, oh, hey, we got Tatis, or we got Correa, or we got, Vasquez back, or we got something, and like try to make it like very fan friendly, because on the field is not going to be, let's be honest, on the field is not going to be real great. We're screwed. Yes, totally. Like, that's what you guys are. Yeah. Unfortunately. But what do you think about the Judge deal as far as length and money? I mean, that's pretty fair, right? Fair.
It's fair. I'm not surprised that the Padres and the Giants both offered more money. And also, I thought it was interesting that the San Francisco stuff was staged, because he was trying to drive up the Yankees' price, because he knew that the Yankees weren't going to offer the most. He just wanted to offer more. And to that, I say, you know what? Good fucking job, man.
Savage motherfucker, dude.
I mean, respect.
Dude, this signing makes me feel. I sat here for how many weeks, and people were always asking me about it, like, what if Judge goes? And I fucking put on a front, kind of, and I was like, you know what? I don't fucking care if he goes really that bad. I don't really care. And what made it worse, I do care, for one. And like, for what made it worse was that all the guys started coming off the board, and he still wasn't signed yet. And I was like, fuck, dude. I was like, if he fucking signs with San Francisco, he just fucked us. He fucked us real bad. Exactly like you're feeling right now. Like, I'm going to feel like a Red Sox fan if we don't sign him, re-sign Aaron Judge. So imagine what that feels like in the pit of your stomach. And then, that's what I'm talking about. So
yeah, I feel you.
But worse, actually, probably, kind of. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think
because that's your team. That's your team.
I mean, we got Rizzo back already because Rizzo knew. So like, the point that Aaron Judge knew is when Aaron Rizzo re-signed. I'm telling you that right now. That's an actual fact. From a guy who watches the Yankees every single day, Rizzo and Judge are in love with each other. Like, they are bro man dates, bro. They rub each other's legs and stuff. And like, there's a joke, an ongoing joke on one of the fucking Facebook Yankees groups that I'm in, where like they fucking talk about how Rizzo and Judge are gay together all the time. All the time, dude. It's all the time. And like, it's constantly like, it's like pictures of like hilarious pictures of like Rizzo, and he's not even actually doing it, but he'll like slapping his ass, and it's just the ass slap part, like in a still frame, and it's like just gay stuff. Like he's like rubbing his leg and stuff all the time. It's hilarious, dude. Like, but yeah, like they're actually like best friends, I think, in real life. And so like when he fucking,
how could you not be best friends with Anthony Rizzo though? That's my question.
Right. Honestly, with Aaron Judge, he's probably like the nicest. He is like one of the nicest.
He seems like he's one of the nicest dudes ever.
He is.
He's got a business to run, but as a guy, he's probably one of the nicest dudes.
He's got that Shaq like gentle giant type thing going on.
Yeah,
that's what it is. It really is. You know what I'm saying? Like he's super nice. And like it really is. But like, and his savagery, dude. That was what I doubted about this guy. I've sat here and said like, dude, I just don't know if Aaron Judge got that dog in him. I don't know if he got that dog in him. With the way he played negotiations, dude, Aaron Judge got some serial killer type dog in him. Got some serial killer dog in him, dude. For real, like that's just being a savage, leaking fucking reports. And I was obviously, I know it's a lot of Scott Boras, but Scott Boras is definitely running that past him before he does it. You know?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And Aaron's just pulling the trigger. He's oh yeah, let's get as much as we can get, and just letting Scott Boras work. And like that shows some dog, you know. He was getting what he wanted. Mm-hmm. He's getting what he knew he deserved, honestly, because that dude is going to work his ass off. Is all I'm going to say. He's not going to quit after this, and that's one of the biggest things I think you can probably look towards when signing a guy to that kind of contract. Like, dude, Xander might quit, bro. Honestly, Xander might be done with his best baseball. Do you think so?
It's. I mean, and that's the thing. It's going to be interesting. Is you know, because we say based on what we've seen that you know 4 years, $90 million is a supreme undervalue, but how much? What are the Padres gonna get out of that 11-year deal for Xander? That's an interesting question because he got his money. What if he's like, yeah, nope. You know, it's not like that never happens when an athlete gets paid, right?
Perfect. You're making a perfect point for me right now. Like that is what it is. Xander took the money instead of staying where he was and trying to win with the franchise that basically brought him up, right? And it's Aaron on the other side, yep. Aaron on the other side doesn't take an extra $40 million in a year because apparently that was the deal, was that he would get 10 and 400 or 9 and 360 out of that. That was the only difference between the deals. And he just came and he was like, I mean, get a little bit more money, you know, but so he came back, and that kind of shows the personality thing. But like Xander, dude, he got clearly a better deal. Like Xander got one of those deals where they were like, how do we fucking deny this? Like, how do I not take?
Well, no, and that was even the comment was because the original intention that Xander had always had throughout all of his negotiations was that whenever the best offer that he got, Boston was going to have the chance to match it. Yes. But they were just so far apart that, you know, that's why talks with Boston collapsed.
Do you think that that's Padres being genius or them just like doing stupid shit and it working?
We'll find out.
Right. That's a good question. I mean, because Juan Soto, that's going to be a huge deal, right? I mean, that's right. Did he already sign that, or is that no? That's because he's got a year left, right?
He still hasn't signed a new deal, so Soto is still up in the air.
Okay, that's what I thought. And they just have him for another year though, and then it'll be so fuck him and Shohei are going to be fucking free agents next year.
Devers is going to be a free agent next year.
And Devers, Jesus Christ. Hey, New York might just be fucking spending about $1.6 billion. We might just drop 1.6 bill to like win like the next 4 or 5 World Series just to fucking shit all over Boston.
Well, you've got
shit right in your fucking cornflakes.
You've already got 3 contracts of north of $300 million on your payroll.
Only team ever to do that. We're about to become the fucking first team to do over fucking 400 million, 500 million. We're just gonna get Shohei, Juan Soto, all of them, and then we're just gonna shit all over Boston for like fucking 10 years. Well, it's gonna be fantastic. You're actually gonna have to play
the way my luck is going. That's probably what it's gonna be.
And you know, the whole time, like 4 years into it, I'm just still gonna be rubbing your face in it all the fucking time. Like just beating a dog down. Like I'll just be like, oh my god, we went 112 and 112 and 40 this year. It's pretty good at the top. Oh, World Series number 30.
Fuck you.
Just had to.
Okay.
Got to take the piss out of him. Hey, I got an answer for this now, Tone. Sorry. She did commit a crime in Russia. I guess that counts, right?
And that's the truth that a lot of negative people are going to focus on. But the other thing is we should not be trading an athlete for a weapons dealer. Like that's not a fair trade. Even Bill O'Brien would be like, hey, can I at least get another concession stand worker, maybe an FIB agent? Like, give me something.
Yeah, it will get fucking heralded in the fucking media, though. That's all that they care about. You know what I'm saying? Like, it'll just get fucking...
It's been pretty critically ripped apart so far because of the fact that they didn't get that Marine. But I also understand that they tried to get that Marine that's been in custody and they weren't getting anywhere. So, I mean, you get what you can get when you can.
Right. I guess let me rephrase that. For the Democratic Party, that's a win.
Yeah.
Just for
Biden's...
That's what they're
going to say.
Right. But Biden's voters are going to be on the fucking side of bringing back,
Yep.
For real, though. Like, just more liberal, right? I mean, I think that's what they're going for. Is their own, but, like, it's not good for everybody. Obviously, it's not a perfect situation in the first place. But, like, it'll be regardless. So,
all right, man.
All right, buddy.
Well, it was.
What's wrong with your camera?
I don't know. I got to figure that out before next week. But I will. For those of you watching with us live, listening after the fact on Spotify or West Coast Radio, we appreciate your support. We will see you next week for our final episode of 2022. Right here.
Oh, it is next week, huh?
Yeah.
Tony's getting a pair of fucking Jordans for Christmas.
Yes.
Yep. I don't know. It's going to be a tough choose. There's a lot of them. There's many to choose from.
Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go.